Oh, all right, welcome back, everybody. Mike DiMuccio here, Aligning with Success. And well, I guess I decided to record tonight's call. And we have a special guest who we're going to hopefully hear from and have some questions answered on her behalf. But first, we have a rank advancement to silver that we want to acknowledge. Marie-France from Laval, I guess. Are you in Laval, Quebec?
I'm a little city just above Laval. It's called Bois des Filions.
What's the population of that city?
Maybe 2,000.
Wow. So a whole 2,000 people. That's amazing. And okay. And we met when I was in Montreal earlier this year, a few months, I guess about 2 months ago now. And was only 1 month ago. Oh, okay. Time's moving slower than I thought. But anyway, it was great. We had a great dinner, great conversation, and we talked a bunch of stuff. And I just thought it'd be nice if everybody here could hear from you, your story, because it's not often we get to hear people's story on this call, and you're just newly rank advanced to silver, so that warrants some time. Tell us your story.
Thank you. I'm very excited. I met you, I think it was on the 15th of June, which is 4 weeks ago.
Oh gosh, that's all it was, eh? Okay.
That's all it was, and wow. Life has changed since then. Unbelievable. Because I'm new since the beginning of June, and then 2 weeks later I meet you and in the conference, and it did it for me. Everyone témoigné, everyone who I can't find the word in English now.
Testimonial.
The testimonials. Everyone who shared their experience with Nikken just blew me away. And it really solidified my choice. And I knew I was in the right place. So I'm telling everybody about, September 18th, because you're coming back to Montreal. I'm telling them, you have to freeze that date. You cannot not come. If you're serious about building it, you have to be there.
Well, can you explain to me what it was that was done? Like, what exactly changed in your mind? Well, first of all, wait a second. Before you do that, let's get back to that, because I want to know, how long have you been with Nikken? When were you first introduced to Nikken? And is Leo your sponsor?
June 1st. So.
Oh wow. Okay, so really new.
2 weeks before I sat in that conference room. So I hadn't started even. I think I had one meeting with someone. That's it.
Okay.
It really shifted everything.
So it was your first month in Nikken when we met, your first couple of weeks in Nikken. And was it Leo who introduced you?
It was, no, but I am in Leo's organization, but it was someone else.
Okay. And okay, so then you came to the conference, and the conference was great. I mean, it was one day. It was 4 hours, I guess, and then dinner, and learned a lot about Nikken. Basically, it was what we call the process in a day, where you learned why we do what we do, what is it that we do, how we do what we do, and what the benefits are, because you heard a lot of great testimonies there from product experiences in business. Mm-hmm. And so that clicked. And all of a sudden now, how did that change your behavior? What happened?
I just wanted to tell everyone, because this is the most amazing opportunity I have ever been in contact with. And I've done other
networking businesses?
Networking businesses, yes, thank you. Okay. I was going to say network marketing, but
what's your background, Marie-France?
Can I say the names or?
What's your background? Your occupation prior to Nikken, during Nikken? Are you?
I studied psychotherapy for 2 years.
Okay.
So I have my I practiced psychotherapy for 6 years.
Oh, cool. Then so I think Andrea, who's our guest on the line, she's studying psychology, if I'm not mistaken. So sort of.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Okay, good. That's what my daughter just graduated from as well. Joined us on the weekend. So, Marie-France, so psychotherapy, did you actually practice psychotherapy?
For 6 years, yes.
Oh, wow. Okay, so yeah.
but I was working at home and I was fed up and needed to get out. And I was working for, working for yourself. You have to do your own promotion. It's not always easy. So I decided to go out work for sales at Sleep Country. Completely different, but I said, I need to get out of here. And you know what? Sales, Sleep Country, selling comfort. It's kind of like, psychotherapy in a way, because people are lying there and they're telling you there's life stories, and you just listen. And the more you listen, the more they trust you, the more they want to do business with you.
Wow, that's like, so you learned everything you need to know about Nikan in that first experience there.
Yeah.
Terrific. And so now you engage with Nikan and you saw something here, and then what?
My life changed. I was in our stories are similar. I was in a very bad car accident 17 years ago. 3 weeks before Christmas, in December 2005, I almost lost my life. My 5-year-old daughter almost lost her mother. And I've been living in pain ever since.
Mm-hmm.
Nikan changed my life.
What products? I know it's a very emotional thing, because somebody said to me, and I've said this a million times on calls, you can sell just about anything to anybody. They might like it. They may even tell someone about it. But when you can take away someone's pain or discomfort, they'll tell everyone about it. So now all of a sudden, that's what's happening with you. Yeah.
The pain was very invasive. For 17 years, I have level 1 head trauma. And not everybody understands what that is. There's 3 levels. Level number 3, you cannot live on your own anymore, because you're a danger to yourself and others. You forget everything on the stove, and you just leave, and so it's super dangerous. Level 1, it's just someone tells you something, 30 seconds later, you just immediately forget. So it's been a hard struggle. So first of all, I go to this, I don't know, can I tell you like how it happened?
Let's before we go there, I'd rather keep it on. Okay, so then how did the Nikan products change that or affect you, or which products even?
Well, I went to the presentation that I did not even want to go to, because it was 45 minutes away from my house.
So stop right there. So all of you out there, if your friends or your prospects are giving you a hard time, be patient, because it may take you a bit of effort to get them there, but look how you can change somebody's life, and they'll be so grateful and thankful after. So put up with it. Go ahead, Marie-France.
Absolutely. She invites me. She goes, next week, you're off on Monday. You have to be at my house at 6. I'm like, okay. Now, okay. 30 seconds later, I already forgot. It's in a week from now. But she knows me. She knows me, but not fully, because this is not a part of me that this is very special. I don't share. This part of me is very private. So that I forget everything often, and it's hard to live just with myself, So she calls me a week later at noon. She goes, you remember you're coming to my house tonight? I said, I am. Why? You live so far. I don't feel like driving all the way. Poor her, she's a good person, and she understood it wasn't personal, but it's just I was tired and didn't feel like going. And she goes, but my friend Sandra is coming, and she has something to show you, and you have to see this. Oh, I said, now your friend is coming, and she's like blocked her agenda just for me. And okay, okay. You know what? I said, let me think about it. I hung up, and I was just so tired. And this is a consequence of, the pain that I live with all the time, is that I'm very tired all the time, often. So I call her back because I felt super bad. I felt guilty. I said, okay, I said, I can't let you down. You planned your night around me, and you really want to show me this. And I know if you want to show me something, I trust that it's something good because I'm not interested in anything. I want to do nothing. I've tried a lot of stuff. I've spent thousands of dollars on my health and all kinds of stuff. I said, this better be really, really good because I am driving 45 minutes one way just to be there. She goes, don't worry, I'm going to make you supper. I said, okay, at least there's supper. So, but
wow, this friend is special.
Seriously. So I get there and I have this girl that I've never seen in my life. Her name is Sandra, super nice personality, very relatable, very easygoing and funny and bubbly. So it's like, okay, it's not too bad. And I'm sitting on, she goes, sit on the nice chair for you. So she had the Nikin seat cushion. That's like 6 weeks ago. I'm like, my life is completely transformed in 6 weeks anyway. So I'm sitting on this nice cushion and I'm thinking, wow, this is not very thick, like what's the point of it? It's so thin. And then I feel so relaxed, I'm thinking, wow, there must be something really special about this seat. So, but I don't know anything, right? And then she puts the she starts, she goes, okay, stand up, we're going to do these tests. And I'm like, okay. I had no clue I was coming here for these kinds of things, And so she does the test with the arm and the thumb to see how flexible you are. And she goes, is one of your shoulders sore? That's weird. Why did she ask me that? I said, yes, my left shoulder is very sore. So she goes, okay, we're going to use your left arm. Okay. So I show her where my arm goes. She goes, okay, put your arm down. I'm going to give you a nice massage now on your sore shoulder. So she's using the Mag Duo. And I'm thinking, well, this is not doing anything. Thinking, okay, it's nice. It's cool. Like I'm getting a massage, but. And then my arm is like, wow, there had to be like 2-3 feet difference in flexibility. I'm thinking, okay, I have not been flexible in so long. Like, what's happening? And I'm not sore. Like, this is truly amazing. And so the next morning, I wake up. I call my friend. I said, I can't feel my shoulder anymore. She's like, what do you mean you can't feel your shoulder? What's happening to your shoulder? I said, you don't understand. Every morning I wake up and I'm in so much pain. I feel my shoulder every day. And I said, I don't feel my shoulder today, this morning. I said, what do you realize what you've done? And I think she was in shock because she was fairly new. I think my friend who invited me was maybe also 2 weeks old in the business. And I just could not believe my shoulder. I told everybody I know. I called my mother. I called my daughter. I said, look, I can't feel my shoulder
You're
anymore.
doing exactly that. You'll tell everybody you know.
What is going on with her? And then I order the products. I order the water bottle, and I order because my friend said you need 2 things minimum. You need at least the water and the insoles. I said, okay, but I want more. I don't want just 2 products. Is there like a rule? I can't buy more. And she goes, well, you at least need that. I said, okay, I want that. But I said, I also want the shower head because I've got eczema and I'm sure it's going to help me, So anyway, so I ordered these products and I just couldn't wait for the products every day. It's like, okay, where are these products? Where are these products? Every day going to the door and hoping for these products to arrive. So finally they get here and even more things happened. I just
I want to just compress it in time because we want to get to Andrea.
I just want to get to the point where because I was like a hostage in my body. And because of the head trauma that I had a very, I had incredible pressure in my head constantly all the time. and it would hurt me from my neck right up to my left eye, all the way. So I go massage, physiotherapy, chiropractor, spend thousands of dollars. And with just the insoles and the water, in I think less than a week, all the pain in my body had just left my body. So it's just an incredible,
So now wait, so that doesn't explain then why you became a silver. Silver doesn't happen by accident. So you must have been telling somebody.
Well, yes, I was very lucky to have Leo in my life, because he helped me, because, you know, I need repetition to get the information to sink into my brain. And then I know then I'm just going to fly on my own and that's it. But I need, you know, and Leo just, you know, I said, would you do this for me? If I invite 5 people, if I invite 10 people, can you come to my home? And I thought, you know, if I'm going to be disturbing him in his time, I'm not going to make him come just for 1 or 2 people. I get it, whole bunch of people, because to me, everybody needs to see this. And then
so then you had a few meetings. How many meetings did you have?
I think we had 2 meetings with
the group.
I think the first one was 6, and then 2 or 3 meetings, Leo, I think.
And from that, there were some customers.
The first one, just, yeah, the guy's skeptical. I take him, you're skeptical? You give my guess for do a test. You see the guy, big arm.
Oh, I remember this story.
Yeah, he was,
so the big strong guy who was at the meeting, the big tall,
Yes.
yeah, the muscular guy. So you did the demos on him.
Yeah.
And Marie-France was there. My friend Marie-France, who I didn't know a lot, was also there that evening.
And 6 guests, 4 customers, 2
consultants
for the first time.
Oh, wow. So 2 consultants running your first meeting.
100% closing.
100% closing. And I'm like, oh my goodness. Like I hang around with top salespeople at Sleep Country, and I'm one of them. But I'm not, you know, number 1, but I'm still top 5. And I'm thinking, I've never seen this kind of, you know, closing. And Leo is so humble. He's like, well, this doesn't happen all the time. Like, okay, no, that's not true. I don't believe you. This happens all the time. Because it's like such a great presentation. And it's such a great product that it has to just sell on its own, you know, just close on its own. And yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay. So obviously you did the volume and you sponsored the people, and here you are, a new silver, which was what, I guess it was it last week that you hit the mark?
Yeah.
So that's in less than 6 weeks?
In less than 6 weeks. Yeah. Well,
fantastic.
Actively, it took me 4 weeks.
Okay. Yes. Good stuff. All right. So I'm glad to hear that, because, you know, Niken gives us a runway of 3 months to achieve the rank of silver, but I don't encourage that at all. I think 3 months is really a very slow pace. So getting it done in your first month, that's awesome. That's really a great pace to set.
And Marie-France, I mean, the other Marie-France there, my friend, she was already making a list. Leo hadn't left yet, and she's like, okay, I gotta do this person, this person, this person. I'm like, oh my goodness, okay, let's go, you know, let's do it tonight. It was too late. She was so excited. It was really amazing. That evening was amazing.
All right. Yeah. That's awesome. And you got a check, I hope, from Niken. Did they send you a direct deposit yet?
I have to check.
You haven't checked? Okay. Well, just a reminder, it comes in on the 15th of the month. Okay. And so you might want to check your bank account. There might be a little surprise in there for you. By the way, folks, the retail sales, for those of you who don't know, that gets deposited weekly. So at the close of this week, that deposit will go in next Friday for this week's business in retail. For the bonuses, it's the 15th. Leo, you have your hand up.
Yes, Marie-France, you keep me busy, I believe it. I have a meeting every week, okay? But Marie-France, Hannah, first, She's goal to be platinum end of August.
All right. So Marie-France, that means you're in the running for
That's-
Japan.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. I
Okay.
by December 31st, I want to be a diamond.
Wow. Hey, listen, I'm not going to tell you can't. There's no such thing as that. It's whatever you want, and then you build the team to do it with you. So my advice, where that's concerned, is find some people who want this as badly as you do. And it's a lot easier when it's you helping them. For instance, right now I'm telling my girls, I'm teaching everybody, don't set a goal to go to Japan. Set a goal to bring a team with you to Japan.
Yes.
That's what I would be doing right now, because there's a well, I don't want to give my presentation away, but it's coming up on Saturday. But essentially, you know, if you want to break a board, if you're doing karate and you want to break a board, you don't look at the board. You look beyond the board. That's how you break through the board. Otherwise, you'll hurt your hand. So if you want to build a successful business, don't think about yourself. Think about helping somebody else go through the board, and then you'll go through it easily as a consequence. So help others win the trip to Japan, and you're going to Japan. Help others achieve the rank of silver, you achieve the rank of silver. It's automatic. So that's what I would say. Now, thank you for sharing your story. And I look forward to hearing more success stories coming from you and your team. So Andrea, if you don't mind, would you unmute? We have a guest, for those of you who joined a little bit late, and she's a guest of Paul Gabias. Well done, Paul. Thank you for inviting a guest. Andrea, this is a group of people here who have varied backgrounds. I'm not sure if you're catching us on video or not. Maybe you can unmute and just start interacting with us. But we've got people. Okay, awesome. We've got some people who are in the nursing background, like very high level. We got entrepreneurs here. We've got moms. We've got them all. As you know, Paul Gabias, professor. Just a lot of people from different backgrounds who found something in common. One of the things.
A dentist just now.
And a dentist, okay.
Yeah, he's just here.
Robert, okay, there you go. So what brings us together is obviously Nikan, but what it is about Nikan that brings us together is we found something special. We found something we feel can make a difference, not only in our lives, but the lives of others. And that's why we take the time to be on a call like this. Otherwise, what would you be doing with your time? So you heard Marie-France's story just now, who is a whole 6 weeks old in Nikan. And it brings me back because I'm 30 years old in Nikan. And I do remember what it felt like those opening weeks when everything just seemed to be a miracle. Everything seemed to be so amazing. It was like, how is it possible that this is happening in these products? Then not everybody knows about this. This is the question most people ask, is how come not everybody knows about this? Well, do you want a political lesson? You want a science lesson? What do you want right now? Because it's not in the best interest of the pharmaceutical industry that everybody knows about this. And so it's difficult to penetrate a market as the size of ours when you got billions and billions and billions of dollars advertising on television 24/7 to keep you, in their turnstiles, in their way of doing things. Nikan is all about common sense, and common sense doesn't seem to be so common. But anyways, Andrea, if you've got some questions based on the information, I know Paul sent me a text earlier and he said that you've had a chance to review some of the information from Nikan and learn a little bit about, again, who it is that Nikan is, who we are, what we do, and maybe some of the technology that you're hearing about. But is there anything that comes to mind that you'd like to know more about? And maybe tell us a little bit about where you're at in life.
So I'm currently studying in university at UBC, which is like Paul's university. So I came to know about Nikan because of Paul, and I found the products to be really interesting, and also like hearing Marie-France's story, that's obviously very inspiring. I don't have any questions right now, but I think like what you all are doing is pretty incredible, and how you're able to inspire people to build their own kind of businesses around Nikken and make their own living. And I think, yeah, I'm really glad to be here today.
Okay, wonderful. Well, listen, if something comes to mind, just shout it out, because I'm really here to, this call has been many things for many years, a coaching call, a mentoring call. I teach a lot about the law of attraction, which to me is a science, and its application in our business. We've covered the ground from, how to build this business, how to attract people and so forth. But let's talk about business for a second, because if you're right now studying, then, study leads to a job, a job, typically. Most people who study are studying to be a professional or studying to be an employee. And usually the professional is actually an employee of their own business, which I think Marie-France was talking about that earlier. It's very difficult when you have to do everything under the sun in the way of your business. And most professionals, that's what they are. They're small business owners of their profession, and then of course they're earning a wage from their company, but it's typically a wage and it's not necessarily profits. So profits is definitely better than a wage. And so I don't know if you've heard of cash flow quadrants by Robert Kiyosaki. Does that ring a bell, Andrea?
I don't think I've heard of that.
Okay, well, Robert Kiyosaki is a famous author. He wrote a book series called Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And he tells the tale of how he was raised in Hawaii by his father, his natural father, who was an employee of the state, very successful employee of the state. He was well regarded, well known, did well financially in terms of the state, in other words, as a job. And then he had a friend whose father was one of the richest men in Hawaii. And of course, when it came to matters of business, money making, and so forth, both parents, both dads, had an opinion. And it was interesting because this book goes into the varied opinions, how rich dad's opinion about something would be one thing, and poor dad's opinion about that something would be very, very different. They were conditioned to think differently. And so rich dad often talked about prosperity and abundance, whereas poor dad often talked about security. And so the emotions usually that people are, why they would be drawn to a job of any kind, is the idea that there's job security. There's a way for them to secure their income, when nowadays we know that's just a myth, completely a myth. You can't rely on the job. You can't rely on the people who are employing you. You can't rely on the economy keeping the company that you're being employed by staying in business. I mean, there's just no reliability whatsoever in that. And so it's fostered what's called these days the gig economy, where people are looking for alternate sources of income. And Nikken fits perfectly well in the opportunity for people to generate a side business, a side hustle, and create some extra income by leveraging Nikken's backbone, which is a system that enables people to shop online, and Nikken does all the delivery. They handle the drop ship, where it goes straight from Nikken's warehouse to the customer's warehouse, thanks to you and your word of mouth and your demonstrations, the things you just heard people do to introduce Nikken. And we do it in our living rooms, and we do it at coffee shops, and we do it on Zooms. We do it however we communicate with the people we communicate with. And so a lot of people have joined Nikken and businesses like Nikken to start a small business on the side as a side hustle. And that suits them well if they're just looking for a bit of extra money to fortify their financial outlook. However, as Rich Dad points out, the cash flow quadrant that's the most interesting is what he calls the B quadrant. And it's not where you trade time for money. In other words, you're not employing yourself. You're not selling to make a living in terms of products or even services. You're creating an asset that can grow, and presumably, if done well, can grow independently of your time. So if you can imagine now an asset, most people are familiar with assets such as money in the bank that presumably grows if you invest it wisely, independently of you, but that requires some skill, or you have to give the money to somebody else to invest it for you, and they take a piece of the action. And it's often they get the piece of the action and you get whatever action's left over, which is not necessarily much these days. So, and of course you have to have working capital to even do that. But what if you could build a side hustle that wasn't just a side hustle, that it had built into it a way for it to grow, and it can grow independently of you to a point where that side hustle could become the main hustle, even though you're still working it part-time. And so for a lot of us on this call, many of us, in fact, on this call are Nikken full-time. We generate our primary income from Nikken because we've been able to do that. We've been able to grow our business and our business volume to a point where our income surpasses our own time income, if you will. That's that B quadrant. And that's the thing that a lot of people never learn about, because you don't learn about it in school. You're not taught to create a B quadrant business. You're taught to have a vocation or profession. Now, one of the key strategies for a B quadrant business is don't be the smartest person in your company. In other words, we're encouraged to go out and gather partners who are better at this than we are, who know more people, who have better resources, who have more experience in business and in sales and whatever. So imagine that. Imagine you can now surround yourself and leverage the abilities of others that are even beyond you. And now your business can really flourish. And that's what I did. So back 30 years ago, when I first learned about Nikken, and like Marie-France, I had a need. My back was ruined from a car accident. I was undergoing physiotherapy, chiropractic care, massage therapy. I was doing it all. Every other day I was in somebody's office. And none of those things worked. None of those things did much for me. And it was a year and a half into it before I learned about Nikken. But I learned about it one night in someone's living room. Again, just like we learn about it. It wasn't at a science fair. It wasn't at a doctor's office. It wasn't at a hospital. It wasn't in a TV commercial. I learned about it from a guy who was a mortgage broker in his living room. Now that was 30 years ago. And it really didn't matter, because what I learned that night was that he had access to something that none of my chiropractors, doctors, massage therapists, anybody I knew had or was using. And that one thing that he demonstrated on me within 15 minutes relieved the tension in my lower back. And I was amazed. And therefore I was curious to know more. And when I learned that Nikken was this big company in Japan that was leading the field in preventive health, where in Japan, preventive health is normal. It is not the alternative. It's the way things are done. It's the alternative in North America for the reasons we mentioned earlier. So here we are. I find out that this company is hugely successful, and I'm a nobody. At that point in time, I'm literally just a person trying to make ends meet, trying to figure out how to get my life started. I'm 27 years old. I have a aerospace engineering background, but I'm not working in aerospace. I have aspirations to be a singer and songwriter. My music deal collapses after 2 years. So I'm really swimming in mud. And I'm working as an electrician. And then on top of that, I get into a rear end collision in the van because somebody hits us from behind. The next thing I know, I got a back injury. So my life is really not going in the right direction these years. So when Nikken falls into my lap the way it did in somebody's living room, yes, I was skeptical. Why wouldn't you be? First thought would come to mind is, if this was really good and really important, why would you know about it? Why wouldn't it be everywhere else? It's funny how we think that way. But you know, if you think about it, the greatest things that have ever happened in the world came from the most obscure places. You didn't learn about it until half the population probably already knew about it. But where did it start? It started in somebody's garage. I think there was a company called Apple that started that way.
Yeah.
How many of you know about that company, right? So Nikken started in very humble ways, and I started very humbly as well. I was living at my dad's house in a bedroom. I started my Nikken business with a desk in my tiny 10 by 10 foot bedroom. And that was where Nikan home office for Mike DiMuccio was. Good Vibrations International home office was a bedroom in my dad's house. And for a number of years, in fact, 3 years, that's where my head office was pretty much. And I grew a business that became a multi-million-dollar multinational business by doing what you're hearing tonight, by telling people, giving people a platform to share their story. We do it every way we can: coffee shops, telephone calls, online, live meetings, hotel meetings. We do it all. And the goal is to just introduce people to what we have and see if there's a fit. And by doing that, we grow our place in the world. Now, it's a little bit slower than maybe paying millions of dollars to go on national television. But how would you actually talk about these products on national television without being slapped by every health administration there is out there that does not want you to know about these things? So we do it the way we do it. And that's how Nikan's been doing it for 47 years and growing and continually being available for the public in spite of the economy. In fact, if you're looking for a recession-proof business, the recession-proof business is the one that actually thrives in a down economy. And it turns out that our business model is something that thrives in a downturned economy. Why? Well, what are people looking for when the economy is going south? Ways to make money. So rather than just talking about our products as a solution, show them how they can have those products paid for. Now they're doubly interested. You mean to tell me I can have these incredibly powerful products and have them paid for? And on top of that, if I go beyond that, I can actually generate an income. And you meaning I can go beyond that too, where I could actually build an asset that could pay me for the rest of my life. All right, you got my attention. What do I need to know? And that's Nikan in a nutshell. That's what we do. We just share Nikan to the degree that someone wants to learn about it based on their needs. So anything strike a bell with you, Andrea, that you'd like to know more about?
So it's definitely really interesting hearing about your story and how you managed to build your business. I just maybe want to know, so what was it like when you were starting? Like, what were the things you did to kind of establish the first resemblances of a business?
Okay, well, the first thing, the first objective was to put a team together. And that's, in fact, if I didn't know this, but if I look in hindsight and you read some of the best business books out there or people who built multinational businesses, they'll tell you as a CEO, as your own CEO, you want to surround yourself with people who are better than you, more capable than you. So I made a list. As you heard, Marie-France was already making a list in that first meeting. I started to make a list. I made a list of 154 names of people that I knew or who knew me by name. And I then categorized that list in the people who I thought were most capable if they caught the bug. If they caught the Nikan bug, they would fly off the handle. They'd tell people they'd know what to do, how to do it. So I just basically started contacting those individuals and sharing with them my story, telling them, look, this is what's happening. This is what's coming. Do you want to be part of history in the making? Do you want to help lay a foundation for this company in the world? And starting in, of course, in Canada, where I was. So some of the people took me seriously. Of course, many didn't, but some of them did. And then I just went to see them. I wanted to get together with them if I could as quickly as possible, because I wanted them to experience the products. That's something that really is unmistakable. You can hear me talk all day long, but when you feel the products do what they do, all the talking in the world won't change your mind. You're going to see what you're going to see. You're going to feel what you're going to feel, and you're going to know what you're going to know. And that will compel you to take action. So yes, Marie-France, it does happen all the time. When we meet with people in person and we do those demos, they are just as surprised as I was the first time 30 years ago, because they've never seen this. They've not experienced this. Where have you heard of this? Anywhere. You're not hearing it on TV. You're not seeing it at Walmart. You're not, like, it's just, that's not how it's happening. Nobody else out there knows about this, but it really is there. It's for real, and you'll experience it and you'll know. So I went out, started meeting people as quickly as I could to get those demonstrations in so that they could feel what I felt and see what I saw, and hopefully get excited enough to, if not be at least be a customer, or to join and help me get this started, get the promotion going, which meant gathering up more people so that we could build essentially a group, start creating momentum. And within 2 weeks' time, I had 10 people on my team. And we then decided that we were going to organize and start having public gatherings. And so we set a schedule of the calendar to have meetings at a local hotel. We had one on the east end of the city, one on the west end of the city. And we met Tuesday and Thursday nights, and we would share our stories with people at these venues and encourage the people to bring people the next night. And so we started to grow an audience. Now today, if I was doing that today, which my girls are, I have two girls, one 23 and one 24, and my niece who's 24. They've joined NICAN as of a year ago. And they do what I'm talking about, but they added another level to this, because today, what I didn't have, which we have today, was the internet. What I didn't have, which we have today, is Zoom. What I didn't have, what they have today, is social media. And so they're now using social media to do what they're doing to attract an audience as well. So they share stories. That's a lot of what they do. They'll talk about what they're interested in and the things how NICAN has impacted their life and their lifestyle. And growing up in that life and that lifestyle, they were raised in a NICAN wellness home. So my kids were born and raised in a NICAN wellness home, in a NICAN business model. They understand prosperity consciousness and so forth. So that's what they're doing right now to gather some people their age, is they're using the tools of the trade of their age. That's a little bit beyond me. It's not that I can't learn, it's just that I'm too lazy to learn. But that's why I sponsored my kids, because, well, why do when I can have others do? So that's what they're doing. They're building their business using the newest technology and tools, but it's the same business. We talk the same language. We have the same products. We get paid by the same compensation plan and so forth. It's just, they're better at attracting people in their peer groups through social media. I'm better at attracting people through my peer groups through the traditional, pick up the phone and call somebody, have a coffee with them. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, that definitely does.
Okay, we're not hearing you. Your signal is. Andre.
Hi, am I back?
Oh, there you go. We got you back now. Say that again, because we didn't hear it the first time.
Yeah, I'm back. I just said that's definitely an incredible journey. The way that you're also educating your kids about it as well, and how the business model is evolving.
Yes. And not only that, but NICAN is also adapting to the changes. So NICAN as a company, which provides the backbone, they also have to adapt to all the changes that are happening in the world. So they are, in fact, right now refitting all of their IT, so that their IT is more conducive to a social media atmosphere. And so definitely going to be more appealing to a younger audience. But, a younger audience is not necessarily going to be excited about listening to me with gray hair. They want to hear from their peers. And so our business is peer-to-peer. That's really the model, is a peer-to-peer business model. And so when I started, I was 27. I was the youngest. And I wasn't looking for 20-year-olds. I was looking for people who were more mature, who had more experience, more contacts. Remember, as the CEO, it's your job to find and locate people who you think could do better at this than you from a business point of view. Of course, everybody could be a product user. Everybody. If you breathe, you're alive, and even if you're an animal, you can benefit from these products because they work on everyone the same way. So I didn't go out specifically looking for customers. I went out day one looking for business partners. That was my secret to success, and that's what I still teach today. Anybody else? If you have any other questions, or Madeline, I know you had your hand up for a sec, so do you want to jump in?
I'm actually going to speak to what you just covered, and this Saturday's masterclass.
Oh my God, yes.
Yeah, so we have a chance to do a little promotion here because we're starting with the Sovereign team, you're ending, and then I have the product story panel in the middle, the product story as the business. So we need to increase the sharing and sorting for, the people that are then going to lead us to. We're so excited that they'll lead to someone else. They may not be the one to continue to reach that gold and diamond.
Well, that's true. I mean, the person who introduced me to Nikken is not in Nikken. So
right.
Shame on them. Too bad for them because they lost a fortune. But
the
at least
importance of event.
they got me introduced to it. Pardon me?
Yeah. So just the importance of events,
Yeah. So let's just so the time for the event this Saturday, it's a free online event called Master Day. It's 4 hours and it covers a lot of ground. It's usually a business meeting for those of us in Nikken, but we welcome people who are looking and kicking the tires because what better way is there to learn than to be invited and be a fly on the inside and see what goes on the inside. So there's going to be promotion, there's going to be recognition, there's going to be training, a number of different events. My girls are going to be leading off the event. They're going to be talking about the social media, about attracting people. So they're leading off the event. It starts at 9 a.m. Pacific, which is noon Eastern, and goes till 1 p.m. Pacific, which is 4 p.m. Eastern. And I close. I'm going to be covering I'll be the last speaker. So it can
be very similar to the day that you held that Marie-France came to. So if we gather people in our homes and encourage more people to come, they have the opportunity to hear, and you don't know who's going to hear.
Madeline, that's a great idea. That's a great strategy to talk about and to promote. So yes, my goodness. If you can't bring the people to the meeting, bring the meeting to the people. So imagine having 4 hours of some of the best content in Nikken beamed into your house, into your living room, and you could gather up a group of people in your living room and let them listen
and experience it.
Yeah, drink. They can try the water. You can do the demos on them, and then they're going to have this incredible repertoire that they're going to learn everything they need to know. You may have the start of a business on Saturday, a great business, if you have those guests.
Invite the business partners to come to hear. Yes, the ones that are hurt and the ones that are the business partners. And don't have to wait until September. Then you have more people to come to the next live event. And I guess as I was listening, and Dave talked about that, and some of your team here were on Dave's call earlier today, is the importance of the live events and the experience. There is something to be said about the powerful story that she just shared for others to hear about the great need that there is, especially with where we are in the world today.
Absolutely.
So the society welfare, we're to be covering society welfare, economic viability by harmony in nature. So since we're not Japan and we're not harmony in nature, we have such a huge opportunity for the economic viability and impacting society that's so out of balance right now. So connecting those three initiatives of our mission.
Right on. Right on. Barbara Bertucci.
Hey, Mike, it's so great that we have this event on Saturday and y'all have put an amazing lineup together. And what I want to say to Marie-France and to Andrea is that what an opportunity to have someone come on board and check it out, like some people say, kick the tires and such. But what they're going to do is they're going to say kind of what's in it for me. And that's really hard to explain beforehand, right? So the only thing I can do, which I did today, was entice a few more they're raffling off a waterfall and they're raffling off 2 shower heads. And the only way you can win is if you're on. And I can tell you, if I win it, I'll give it to you if you're on. So, you know, there's that, what's in it for them and how can they benefit it. The other thing, Mike, I wanted to underline that y'all were talking about, but when I first started, I didn't have an extra $200, $300 to spend. And I was like you, Marie-France, I suffered for 4.5 years on a daily basis. And on that third morning, I woke up and I didn't hurt at all. And I just got up and I was walking and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to share this with everybody. But there was a light bulb that went on at my husband's, at the time's brain. And it was, we don't have it to spend, but we can invest anywhere from $1,500 to $2,000 to start the potential of a business, to make the income, to get the freedom, to have the levers and dials of our own lives and create our own future. And that's that little line of demarcation of what if you could start your own business? What if you could have your own multi-million-dollar business? What if we had the levers and dials to have all the energy, vitality, stamina right here, right now, as we start to age but not get old? And that's something that's pretty powerful. Thank you, Mike. Thanks.
Awesome. Thank you for that. Well, we're about wrapped up here, so I'm going to just close on. There's anybody has announcements that we want to cover before we wrap up? Anything else? So Master Day this weekend, Saturday. Marie-France, yeah.
I do want to add that my dog, Leo's gonna laugh. My dog's life was saved with the Nican water. The veterinarian cannot believe what's happening. And when my daughter went to his follow-up appointment after only 2 weeks of drinking the water, my daughter said, well, he's doing a lot better because my mother is giving him magnetized water. And I wasn't there, and I regret not being there, but my daughter said you should have seen the face of the blank face of the veterinarian, because she doesn't understand what's going on. So I'm going to meet.
We're so ahead of the crowd, so ahead of the norms in North America, because we're not even in the same game. And this is the point. If you were in the medical game, then you would be going to school and learning all the medical language, all the medical protocols. You would be learning how to make money in the medical game. But we're not in the medical game. We're in the health game. Health is not the medical game. Health is about doing the things that are common sense to keep the body healthy. And it just so happens that Nican products make it so, create environments so that our body responds to it in a healthy way. For instance, it's common sense that if you drink fresh, clean, healthy water, that's going to contribute to your hydration, which contributes to your overall health and longevity. It's true that if you get a better night's sleep, that's going to really contribute to health and longevity. And if the Nican sleep system makes it so that you can get a more restful night's sleep, hello, the compounding effect of that over years is going to stave off a bunch of aging. And what about if you eat well and you supplement because you know that there's simply not enough in our diet in order to give the body what it needs in terms of trace minerals in a natural way, organic, without pesticides, toxins, and so forth. So if you did that, would that impact your? See, these are the things that are common sense. And yet we have probably a greater impact on health than just about anything out there.
Mm-hmm.
Because we are helping people get their body normalized back to the way it should be, versus treating an illness that was brought on because the lack of health care and self-care. So we're just teaching people, hey, you can pay me now or you can pay me later. If you're going to pay the medicine man later, it's going to cost you a fortune, maybe everything you got. Or you can spend a few $100s now and keep it up and keep yourself healthy. It's just, An ounce, what do they say? An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. I mean, that's always been true. It's not true because of Nikan. It's always been true. We're just actually the way to do it. Paul, you got your hand up, and then Clara, and then we're going to wrap.
I just wanted to thank you, Andrea, for participating in this Zoom. And is it okay if I send you the Zoom link for Master Day on Saturday?
Oh, sure. I might be doing something that day, but like I'll try to come for sure.
Even
Yeah,
if
it
you
was great
squeeze
being here
in a
today.
segment of it would be great.
Sure.
Yeah, so thank you very much. And you know, UBC has, as I think I sent you that link, entrepreneurship at UBC. So entrepreneurship is a part of UBC. It's just we do it a little differently, but
Well,
I think
definitely
more
watch my
effectively.
girls. Watch my girls. They're up at 9 a.m. Pacific, and you'll probably be most impressed. Clara, you've got your hand up. Clara, going
Okay,
once.
there we go.
There you go. Okay.
Yes, so I just wanted to comment. You know, I've had this dream of building a wellness home since I was 13. And I'm getting, I'm in the process of getting started with that. But I've always known, especially over the last few years, doctors, we have a lot of medical doctors that are going to prescribe medications to people that they don't need. Instead of dealing with doctors and and medications, we need to deal with our health, in a natural way. So that means drinking the water, doing, energy work with the magnets, the energy work.
Mhm.
And of course, doing the different supplements. Everything that you put in your body, you're basically putting your body back to the way it's supposed to be and is meant to be. Because people these days, we have too many people going to doctors and getting on medications with a number of side effects that are negative. What if we could change that and we got more people on board to get away from those medications, get off of them, and perhaps use these Nikan products? Because I can tell you for certain that I've had some really good experiences with the magnets. I've been drinking the water for almost 3 weeks, and I can say that it really has helped me having that water. It's so important to have clean water. And this past week I actually made chai tea. I actually made tea using that clean water, and I actually made coffee using that clean water. So there's a lot of health benefits when you invest in the Nikan products, and we need to make more people aware of them.
That's it, Clara. That you're saying it all. You're telling us exactly what is true. We need to do, I think, a better job of getting the word out. Now that we have these tools, now that we actually have, everybody is their own broadcast station these days with social media. So we just got to be a little bit more diligent about it and let people know we have discovered something worth learning about and having courage and confidence to share it. You just don't know who you're going to touch, whose life you're going to change. Honest to God, the person who introduced me to this, even though they're not in Nikan and they probably don't even use the products, they changed not just my life, the thousands and thousands of people who've been introduced to this because I said yes, and then began the journey of building a Nikan business. And the ripple effect of that has gone global. So yeah, it's really important that we do go out of our way and that we have the patience to deal with people's skepticism and negativity, because there's a reason why they're skeptical and negative. They've been conditioned to be. They've been lied to so long for so many years by so many people that it's hard for them to trust. That's why when you do a demo, when you have the opportunity to actually meet them in person and you do a demo, it's no longer about what you're saying, it's about what they're feeling, what they're experiencing. And that's when they will really trust what's going on. So words
So
to the
if we all
wise.
if we all talk to 15 new people now, by Saturday, we might have, what is it, 1/3, 5 new people
At least
each.
5 new
So-
people each. So
if there's
let's
19
do
of us,
it.
with 5 new people each, yes.
Let's do it. Start by
Challenge.
putting a message out on your social media and say, look, I've just discovered something that's so incredible. I just don't know where to begin to share it. I just want to know if there's anybody ready to do something important in their life and increase their quality of
Here's the
life.
link.
Just
And here's the link.
direct message me, something like that. Anyway, guys, got to wrap. We're past 10 o'clock. Thanks for staying on board. Thanks everybody who chimed in. Thanks, Clara, everybody, Andrea. I hope to see you again. And if you do manage to make it out on Saturday, enjoy.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.